All right. Hi, everyone. This is essentially a brief overview video for your Chapter 2 assignment. Your goal or your aim for your Chapter 2 assignment is to revise your Chapter 2, which was contextualize the problem of practice, so that you update your fishbone diagram, your systems and processes, and other instructor feedback that you've received. So a reminder that this is your paper that you wrote in EDD 808, Contextualizing the Problem of Practice. So I know that was a while ago. That was the end of your year one. And that was your first chapter of your dissertation practice, your DIP. It's actually going to be situated as chapter 2 in your DIP. You're going to have a small chapter 1 introduction that you will work on later on in this program. As a kind of helpful tip, it's usually always nice to write the introduction at the very end of your process. So this is going to be chapter 2. Now, I know that you have already done a lot of work. You are not rewriting chapter 2 in any shape or form. You've already done all the legwork. However, we also know, and you've been told and you've been coached, that a lot of these ideas are iterative, or that you have likely worked with your fishbone diagram in additional courses, and you've probably made some updates. You've probably made some refinements. We expect you to make updates and refinements. Now is the time for you to finalize those. And I see that there's a typo here, but I'll get to that in a second. So now here's your time to refine those. And so you're going to go back to your writing. You're going to go back to that chapter, update your fishbone diagram with your most up-to-date diagram, and then also take a look at your systems and processes and take a look to see, is the way I am framing my system and processes alongside what I now know I'm going to do for my dissertation study. I know what my change cycle is going to be, what I'm going to implement. Does my reader have a sense of my system? And any additional insights that you want to add to that, because you have engaged in EDD 810, because you've also been thinking about it, make those edits and refinements now. You might also have other instructor feedback from your EDD 808 instructor that maybe you received at the very end of the course, post submitting your final submission. Make sure you incorporate those edits and revision and coaching. You might also, as part of this course with your writing tune-ups, engage in some refinement and polishing of your writing in chapter 2. And so please also do that. This is your time to really polish it off and have it be essentially like dissertation ready. Some of your chapter 2 resources you have chapter 2, contextualizing the PoP, the problem of practice template. Now, you probably wrote a really nice paper in EDD 808. The template you'll see the headings are essentially the same, exactly the same. You might have adjusted those headings a little bit to kind of be a little bit more personalized or descriptive of your problem of practice, and that's okay. You can adjust these headings here in the template. But this is a template that just ensures that it is APA 7th style approved. So especially with levels of headings. And so if you tend to be a little confused on APA 7th style headings, this template is going to seem that out for you. And you do want to make sure that you do all the other polishings, like make sure all of your text is black. Do you know how to introduce figures? Like, did you introduce your fishbone diagram figure appropriately using APA 7th style guidelines? The chances are maybe not, because APA 7th style guidelines is super picky, super nitpicky, but this template has it all set up of here's how you title a diagram, here's how you include a note for a diagram, here's how you number your diagram. So because you're now working with chapters, we're going to number our diagrams accordingly. I've also included the same EDD 808 paper instructions that you had. That was kind of like your guidebook when you were in 808. I've included those here. I essentially just downloaded it from the 808 course, populated it here so that you can go back and refer to those guiding questions. That might be really, really helpful for you as you're refining. So that's the goal here in your chapter 2, contextualizing the PoP. Take a look at additional details that are populated in the assignment, such as when you submit this. Take a look at the rubric. You might find that this has a rubric of the goal is to meet expectations by the end of the course. It is expected, especially if you have if you're submitting it earlier in the course, for maybe there to still be some edits, and you might make those edits and then resubmit. So that's also expected. But But yeah, I think that's it. That's a fairly decent overview. Take a look at the assignment guidelines that are outlined here. If you have additional questions, you can bring those questions with you to your chair check-ins. Those are very helpful things or very appropriate things to talk about in your chair check-ins. All right, good luck.